Yes, I think we are ready, and I'm standing and walking and talking about myself, about our projects, and how we do and why we do it. And if you have questions, then we will take them as we're going on. We have been together now for several days, and I think you all know that my name is Hans. I'm a consultant. If you want to phone me, remember +45 and the number. And if you want to send me a mail, it's there. And we have a homepage in Danish. All those things are on that stick you got, so you don't have to write much. A little about myself. I'm born in 1946, and I could retire if I wish to, but I won't, because I have a very exciting job. I get a good salary, and the things we are doing, they are needed for. So I think if we get money, as I told you yesterday, I'll continue until I'll be 70, and then grandparents. Before I started on this job, I have done many things. I'm educated plumber. Do you know what plumber is? No?
Water plums, help me out. Another word for pipes, yeah.
Pipes.
Pipe builder
Yeah.
for hoses. Pipes that bring water.
I used my hands. Then in the middle of the 70s, we got the oil crisis, and the building of houses went extremely down. And I had small children and a new house and a new car and a big dog, so I have to find some work to do. So I started working in a prison. I worked in the prison for about 10 years. And in the prison, as we have talked about earlier, many of the guys who are in prison that have problems with reading and writing. So that's the first time I became, that problem existed. After 10 years I found some other things to do, and I returned to the plumbing job. But in, I think, 1995 I started working with unemployed people. And in Denmark, many of the unemployed people, they also have problems with reading and writing. So in 2000, I started in this network. And when we started, we was two guys to tell about these problems, and today we are 5, and we have 2 girls in the administration. We are covering a big part of Denmark now, and yes, that's what we do. We are an independent network. We are companies, organizations, and others. We were started in 1997, and from the start we got money from the Danish education ministry. Good morning. Glad to see you. We are not, as I told you yesterday, we are not selling courses. We are informing and telling about what to do. And everybody who wants to hear about it, we visit. Tell about how you can do. And also help the companies get started. In Denmark, they found out years ago that about 1 million of the adult population could profit by participating in the course, so they can upgrade. And it's about 20% of the population. And I'll come back to those investigations since 1990. We have, I think, 2,000 on our web, who gets our newsletter on the website 4-5 times a year. And there we are telling about what we're doing and when we're doing it and why we're doing it. In, I think in 1990, there was something like the OECD investigation that showed that about 800,000 Danish people could benefit of reading and writing courses. In 2000, there was a new investigation that showed that maybe 1.5 million Danish people could profit. And the last investigation here from a month ago, it says something about 800,000. And we are, I think, we are number 14 on the list. Those many who could profit of these courses, the parliament, the changing governments took very seriously. They put a lot of money to the schools, to the unions, so they could set focus on how to get those adults to participate in education. There have been many different things during the last 10 years. There have been big campaigns in newspapers, in television, slides on buses where they take a course. And right now there is an ongoing thing where the government wants unemployed who has been tested, want them to take a course so they can be, so their possibility for getting a job will be better. All the schools in Denmark, and they are cooperating, and all the schools, no matter what school visiting a company, they are agreed. The government wants them to talk about, do you have employees who can benefit of this? Then start with that. We have also, yesterday we talked about teachers, good and bad teachers. If the teachers, when the teachers want to teach those adults with these problems, they have to take another course for half a year, so they are better educated. And they learn more about those problems with dyslexia and things like that. Yeah. If you have questions, ask please.
First question.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier, I don't know which sheet, you didn't sell courses.
No.
You didn't manage courses.
No.
You gave information.
Yes.
And, no. The question is, you said you visit everybody who is interested.
Yes.
For example, I have difficulties with reading and writing.
Yeah.
In Denmark,
We know that.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah, of course.
Especially with reading and writing Danish.
And then I rang you and asked, please help me. Then you visit.
Yes. We take from one person to big companies with several thousand employees. We have many small companies in Denmark, maybe 1 or 2 employed. We have recently visited a carpenter. He has 1 man employed. We call us, say, Peter has problems. Can we talk
Joseph,
about it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. I know Joseph. So we visit.
Okay,
That
what
carpenter.
is the process?
Yeah.
I take my phone,
Yeah.
etc. You are on the other side of the line.
Yeah.
You said me, okay, sit down, I arrive.
Yeah.
Or somebody arrive and
Yeah.
discuss me or what?
Yeah. Maybe we can take the air out of the balloon. When we're talking with you about these problems, we can tell you that there's help to get. We can tell you about all the others who maybe are afraid and maybe carrying that teacher on the back and things like that. And we can connect you with the right school and the right teacher who can give you a test and give you a guidance how you're going to get on with it.
Then it means in Denmark, everywhere are teachers who handle my problem.
Yeah.
So if I live everywhere in your country, I can find quite nearly a teacher who can help me.
Yes, we have adult education center where they take care of all these things.
Peter, sorry, that means you are like a moderator,
Yes.
but you don't give classes. You
No.
help people to
Yeah.
find the solution for
Yes.
this problem.
I'm a motivator, and I'll come back to how we do it.
Please speak English.
I just wondering, because yesterday Tomas showed to you the framework what we are work on now. And, sorry, just very short.
Yeah.
We would like to teach people in distance learning method how you can find your own way how to learn. Of course, in the first moment we had the problem, okay, if somebody had a reading, writing problem, then if we give him an email or website, text, then okay, maybe he are able to read it, but he or she understand it. And we try to find the solution, what we shall do. Can we say, if you have reading problem, please go to the family center or everywhere for an institution, please discuss with a moderator, with a helper, with an expert, or everybody, and then you will get help. And I didn't find it. So from this reason, I'm wondering in Denmark, if I live anywhere, I can nearly find a person who is expert on reading and writing, not a teacher, okay. I don't like to learn mathematics. I have difficulties, I have problems to understand the text, for example, or write a CV or something like this. So it's for me absolutely very good, of course. It would be very necessary in Hungary. Yes.
I think we are lucky in Denmark because, as I said before, the government really wants to do something about this problem. So the talk, the test, and the courses are free. And if you are employed and you take a course in your working time, you get about 12 euro per hour. So I'll come back to that. We also recommend distant learning, but it's our experience that if that shall be a success, the students have to start in the school and maybe get the basic things so they can go
sure.
there.
Absolutely. I absolutely
Another question.
Yeah.
Another question.
So Hans, if I understand you correctly, you're a part of a huge network in Denmark connecting participations to the right schools.
Yeah.
So you're kind of in the center of a network of schools in Denmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
But only, it's the continuation of the question. It's only with school or also with other non-governmental institutions? You work only with the network, like colleagues say, is only with schools, or you can find also some others non-governmental institution to help?
Yes,
It's a big network.
it is. Yes. You can write yourself. We're doing a lot to put focus on this kind of problem. As we said, we are a part of a big network, and our focus is the adults with those difficulties we're talking about. But if a company or other want to start other kind of education, we know where to send them, if you know what I mean. We know if they want a certain course, we say, yes, call John, he knows how to help you. Our target group is companies, unions, and leaders, shop stewards, private and public working places. It's job centers and it's unemployed people. So it's a big spectrum. And I think, if I look back, we have been, in our network, we have been very good to see new opportunities for us, but also for the adults who has problems with these things. We mean that if a company wants to start education, the best they can do is set focus on this problem and start with a test of all the employees. Because our network started because some companies near Kolding in Denmark, they found out when they sent their employees to certain courses, many came back and said that was a bad course. The best on the course, that was the dinner. And when they talked with them, they said, we didn't understand what they were telling us. We couldn't read the things they gave us. And that's why we never go again. So 5 or 6 companies started this network, put focus on that, and we can see if a company wants to do something about this, test of everybody. If you test everybody, you don't have to say, oh, you have problems with that, we test you, and you have not, and you, boom, boom, boom. We take all from director to the lowest. Then it's okay to talk about, because you know and I know that for many it's a taboo, almost like talking about drinking in the working time. So if you can be open about what you want, if you can talk about how you do it, it's a good thing. We often, when we are invited to a company, private or public, we start talking about what they want and why they want it. And when, after we talked, we offer to make a plan for the company. So step by step by step, how we can start. We recommend, if a company wants to set focus on this problem, you must call all the employees together, and the boss, the big boss, must give the information. It works if it's the big boss with the big stars on the shoulders who say, now we want to start this. They have to tell me why they will, when they will, and all those things. There must be a lot of openness. Openness, is that the right word? I don't know. But you must to be open about what you want to do. Because many of those guys who maybe have problems with reading and writing, if they don't get a proper instruction, they think, oh, now they're going to test us. And because I'm maybe in the lower end, I'll be the next to get fired. So they have openness, and openness. It has been very exciting to work with these things. And because we have been going on for so many years, they are calling us from all over Denmark. Originally we was in the middle of Jutland, but we have done lots of things. We talked the other day about a big diary in Denmark called Arla. The English people know that Lurpak butter. It's a Danish product, but they have lots of diaries in Denmark, and they decided they want to test 4,000 of their employees. And I was the coordinator with, I think, 30 diaries and 19 schools. And it was a big job to get, and it was very exciting. We find out that even if we have talked with the schools and said, now we want it to be so and so and so, when they took action, we could see that that school did it that way, that another school did it that way. So we have to take them together and say, now the rules are so, and it didn't help much. So after that, we have done things with other big groups. Right now I'm on the Danish Army. The Danish Army has decided that all, from soldiers to generals, maybe not generals, but some of the officers, they must have a test in reading, writing, and writing, mathematics, and ET. There is so that the Danish army they have many youngsters who maybe has chosen the army because they are not so good readers and writing, so they could go to Afghanistan and kill some people, and you know what. But they decided that they must do something because some of the young men, the young boys, they want to keep in the army, and others, they want to help when they maybe finished in the army. So they started this project. We have also done something for one prison, and I think they're coming several more. And in the prison, it's for the guards. Many of the guards could improve their writing skills, and it is necessary because everything a guard writes ends often in the court or being evaluated by lawyers. So they have to get a proper writing. You understand? Yeah?
Yes.
We also, when we talking about the army, there is, I think, 8 schools involved. And before we started, we collected them and made an agreement. So they all said, okay, we'll follow that. And it helped us a lot, because now it's the same, it is Copenhagen or in another part of Denmark. There are common rules for how to do it. So that has been very good. We use several methods to motivate people to participate in education.
There is a question. Any
Yeah.
question?
Peter?
Hi.
No, John, yeah, John?
Couple of questions. First, a quick one. In the UK, as you'll know, the unions have, in the workplace, learning reps.
Yeah.
You know, the union actually can appoint learning reps to develop literacy and other courses with the employers. I just wonder whether Denmark has a similar thing, because working with the unions in England, the unions do it and they're funded directly by the government through various schemes. The second thing is a broader issue, because obviously since the 1970s, most European countries have actually recruited a large percentage of their low-skilled labour force from migrants of various kinds. And of course there's been huge debates, as you well know, in Denmark about the status of migrants and immigrants. Yeah, I just wondered how your programme relates to the, I mean there's two needs in them, not with migrants, language, like Danish language, but also many of them, certainly in England, will be illiterate in their own languages. I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I will. About that problem you mentioned. Some years ago, we was in contact with a huge chicken slaughtery. They have, I think, 39 different languages in the factory. And together with us, a school in Vejle gets some money to synliggøre, to visualize the problems with understanding each other. And that school is it's a language school who take foreigners to learn Danish. They talked with and they tested all, I think there were about 400 employees. And at that time they found out that about 20% could not read or write in their own language. So that was a huge problem. And I know also that the job center in Horsens in Denmark, where I have my office, there are especially elder women, older women who also have that problem. So they're doing different things to get them to learn, to get them to work, but nothing works because it will take extremely long time to learn them the Danish reading and writing thing if they can't on their own, and if they can't on their own language. And many of them comes from Turkey, I think, but also Iran and Iraq. But in the 70s, many Turkish people come to Denmark to work, and some of them was maybe from the country part, so they haven't maybe not learned it. I don't know, but it is a problem. If a company wants to set focus on this problem, we have a course where we offer key persons. Do you know what I mean when I say key persons? It can be leaders, it can be shop stewards. We have a course on about 3 hours where we tell about how the problem is on other factories, how to spot when you see an adult with these problems we're talking about, and how to motivate them to participate in learning. And when we finished those key persons, we give them a test, a paper test, and we do that because many of those adults, you know it yourself, when we're talking about tests, they get their arms up, they won't, they don't. Why should I do that? And you know all the answers. But we test those key persons because if they have to talk about, to motivate their partners or the colleagues to participate in those things, they have to know what we want to do with them. We also sometimes bring a former student, and we can see that someone who has the problem near maybe is the best to tell others what benefit they can have. We also, when we're talking about the companies, they maybe should look at the inside communication. When they write things to the employees, they maybe use a shorter sentence. They must not use too many foreign words. And also sometimes the type of writing could help to understand and read better. We tell, but in those information meetings, we tell openly what the single person could benefit by participating. They could maybe use the remote to the television better. Some years ago we had an old guy, he said, "Thank you very much, now I can use the remote." He thought that the remote only could change channels, but he could go in and find the text sites. We also have one, and we are talking about all categories. A young mother who started, and she were very glad when she could read for her 3-year-old daughter. So it depends on where we are, but anyway, we can see when people has participated for maybe 40 hours. For somebody that opens a new world. And precisely those who sees the sun are very good ambassadors for a project like ours. As I told you, we recommend test of all. And we do it, and I have some figures to show you. But also, when we are talking about the companies, we telling them about the size of the team. We telling about how many hours you have to participate. In that stick you have got, there's some written stuff from the education ministry, and there's telling about what we called preparing adult education and dyslexia education. There is also, so when we test people, if the test shows that the person has dyslexia, then we have a system where if you can, together with your company, show that you need some IT items to help you, the job center pays it. It can be a computer, it can be a stick, it can be anything. So it can help people with these problems to keep their job. And today there's many opportunities, telephones, GPS systems and things like that. But the job center pays for it, and it's a good thing.